Are you tired of feeling drained, dealing with constant fatigue, and experiencing ongoing health issues? Imagine living a life full of energy and vitality. Welcome to Toxic-Free Living, the transformative detox course designed for a healthier, toxin-free lifestyle. Many struggle with unknown toxins in their everyday environments, which are found in our food, homes, and personal care products. These hidden culprits can weigh you down, both physically and mentally. Introducing our 4-week online comprehensive detox course, starting November 13th, 2024. Dive into a personalized journey, tailored specifically to your health needs and toxin exposure, ensuring effective and lasting change. Unlike one-size-fits-all detox programs, Toxic-Free Living offers a customized approach. Develop your unique detox roadmap with expert guidance covering everything from assessing your toxic load to sustainable lifestyle changes. Gain insight into everyday toxins and discover practical strategies to replace them with nourishing alternatives. You'll learn simple, effective steps that seamlessly integrate detox practices into your daily routine. But don't just take our word for it. Listen to Sarah, who regained her energy and overcame hormonal imbalances, or Mark, who found relief from chronic health conditions. They and many others have revitalized their lives through our program. Ready to take control of your health? Join us and embark on a journey to detoxify your home, body, and mind. With limited spaces available, now is the perfect time to act. Click the link to secure your spot today. Start your toxic-free journey today and embrace a life of vitality and well-being. Remember, a healthier you awaits with Toxic-Free Living. Transform your life for the better. Join us now and take the first step towards a vibrant, toxin-free future.
A galactic historian is a person that looks at all the lines of dramatic karma. A galactic historian goes to each and every line of dramatic karma and lives in soul family with everyone. So they see the big picture of all of the karma that's going on in a local part of the universe.
The infrastructure of potential was there. You still had to connect the dots and use a series of free will expressions to get you there. There are also a number of people, the karmic doors closed them off to so much. All that was left was this galactic historian guy on the internet. People who listened to the Galactic History 1 and within a year went back to sleep because the world turned to be really shitty and no one woke up. None of the predictions happened. I understood as a higher soul that being in this time with the perceptive nature of the human I could be, attracting people to the material that a person had to open the door with.
Andrew, if you had any ideas about coming back to the Caribbean, don't.
Sorry, missed my countdown. We are live on the Talking Stick Show.
Thank you, Joel. Hello and welcome everybody to our Tuesday's call-in Talking Stick Show. I'm Laura Massey from Two Feathers Medicine, and I'm joined tonight with a very purpley Amy Kruzik.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Amy.
Hello, Laura.
And we've got David, who's calling us from, where is it, David?
Some remote place on the top of a mountain in a Caribbean island that nobody's ever heard of.
Okay. Hi, David. And also the one and only Andrew Bartzis.
Yep, he's muted.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah,
there
Sorry
it is.
about that.
That's okay. Couldn't you find the unmute?
Yes, we're having that thing where Joel's got to unmute me.
Oh, yes, of
Oh.
course. Yeah. So how are we all? What's happening in your world, Amy?
It's pretty quiet. Thank you. A little bit of, just I've had some sleepless nights, waking up and that, but other than that, I don't know. I'm just like, okay, I'm good with this.
Okay.
I've had those sleepless nights too, and that's been going on for a few weeks now.
Oh, for you?
Okay, so it's not only me.
It's not only you.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming just the solar flares. This is just the reality of the tension in the air that you can feel from the neighborhood, from the environment, from my own, trepidation of what's potentially in the future. I worry too. I'm not falling into paranoia, but it makes you got to wonder what's coming next.
Yeah, there is a sort of a palpable chaos, and also there's a different energy that I've not felt before as well. And that's what you're talking about, Andrew.
Exactly.
An unknown.
It's more than an unknown, because I've been in the land of the unknown for a very long time. And this is even beyond that. It's a whole other description. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know how to describe it. Okay. David, what about for you?
In terms of the weather and everything, I'm going to just put my life along the thing of fair to partly cloudy with a chance of scattered showers. That would be me. But with regard to the tension that's everywhere right now, it's everywhere. It's all over the world. It's just not in one place.
Right.
There's a hanging tension in the air. Tension of uncertainty that people know is going to affect everything. And Andrew, the reference to what's going on in the US right now, this is a lose-lose situation anyways. It'll affect everybody, even people down on a remote island in the middle of the Caribbean Sea. And we know this, and everybody knows it.
Okay, and then there's the looming disaster behind all of that everyone's pretending isn't happening.
Correct. Well, that's what we do. We pretend to make ourselves feel okay.
Is the news going to have what's called a Minsky moment, where they suddenly realize things aren't what they seem? And that's going to start the avalanche and unraveling of the lies that have been propping up the economy for so long.
Did you say Minsky? What is that?
Yes.
What is that?
A Minsky moment. Urban Dictionary. That's the description for it.
Oh, okay.
So all these energies affect our bodies too, right?
Mind and spirit as a complex being. And somehow for some of us, it comes back as a uncertainty that makes us not sleep. For others, they sleep like babies, but have terrible time in actual life. Everybody's equation is a different weather forecast for them.
But the tension does show up in the body too, like aches and pains and things. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Amy, what did you find out?
Hold on, Urban. I was listening.
We'll get to you shortly, Lillian.
Urban Dictionary, Minsky moment. Minsky moment is a sudden severe economic or market collapse that occurs after a period of unsustainable growth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The term is named after Hyman Minsky, an American economist who studied financial instability and its causes. The financial crisis. It gained attention in 2008.
Right. So he called it. And everybody's like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. And he was proven right. Like I was saying, are we going to have one of these Minsky moments live on TV? Will it be CNBC driving the equation and all of the stories to cover up afterwards? Will somebody have a brand new agenda that's going to come out and try to dominate the news and memory hole everything else? Okay. You know that they're going to manage, they're going to do whatever they can do to manage that story to their advantage and to our disadvantage.
But they cannot actually hide a financial collapse, can they?
They already have been for 4 years.
They have, and we are in a financial collapse. I think if you are, and it's, listen, there's something to be said for incremental increase of tension. Okay, the 2008, they learned something from it in 2008, that when you crash a market, if you crash the market and it's a big crash, everybody becomes alerted and everybody adjusts. But if you incrementally crash it and things get tighter and tighter for people, then it goes over a lot more smoothly. You see how that works, right?
Right. They're going to come back and ask for really draconian measures to solve this, when in fact what they've created is unsolvable. And that's the reality of the Minsky moment. Will it be realized we are so far in debt, there is no mathematical probability of getting out of debt without sweeping reform to the corruption that created it. And the corruption that created is going to ask for sweeping reform to give corruption more power.
Because they set everything up in their favor.
Yeah.
I have a theory that the 2008 crisis never actually got resolved, and we were just perpetuating and limping along. I have this theory.
No one went to jail, David. Not one banker from that went to jail. And within 2 years of TARP and the too big to fail, they were repeating the exact same loan processes. And that has happened again. Except for CDOs, it's called MCOs. It's the exact same horse trading, casino rules backed up by insurance puts and stays. That all should be illegal along with shorting.
I do have a question for our loving audience, if you guys are listening to this, or if you're going to be listening to it at a later date. Do you ever get tired of all this horse shit?
Yeah.
Do you all ever get tired of all of this nonsense? Like, do you all ever get tired? I get tired. I get tired every day, actually.
Yeah.
Makes you tired.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's going to take, because some of the games that are being played, especially in the media, are highly unnecessary. You have a programmed population already, okay? You don't need to squeeze their minds any further. There's no need to increase hate and division anymore. We have broken the world to such a degree that nobody trusts anybody anymore. I'm going to ask you guys a question. When you walk out of your house and you go to the supermarket and so on, do you walk out of your house and go to the supermarket with an open heart, willing to trust and help and heal everybody that you meet? Be honest. No bullshit. No bullshit. Let's be honest.
Not anymore.
No.
Get back.
And you wonder how you got there, right? You don't have to wonder how you got there. Somebody put you there. People put you there. Because I don't think our grandfathers or great-grandfathers had it as bad unless they were in a war situation. All right? You remember neighborhoods with kids playing outside and all that kind of nonsense? You remember the Brady?
Right, all the neighbors knew each other?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Brady Bunch and so on. That's somebody, we got put here. And the question is, and this is what I think, because I have been in some meetings where I have listened to people in corporate. I have listened to people, and Andrew, these people are broken in the mind. They are truly the essence of evil. Okay? They're truly the essence of evil. So when people think, these shows where, Andrew and David and Amy and Laura, they're just conspiracy theory. No, I've actually sat in on meetings where people are plotting for their customers. You understand what I'm saying? They're plotting to back them into a corner. And let me give you an example of what I'm talking about for those of you who are listening to. Can you imagine you're sitting around a meeting, you're writing a document. The document, and this is a car salesman. For anybody who owns a car there, this is what is inside your document when you buy a car. It says that when you buy the car and you don't like the car, what's going to happen is that you can't go to the courts directly. You got to go to mediation. When mediation fails, you got to go to arbitration. Oops, but there's a clause in there that says the arbitration tribunal is to be chosen by the motor car company. Do you see, do you not read the fine print? Oh my God. Read the fine print. So I have actually sat in on these kinds of meetings where people are plotting things like this. It's evil. So if you think that where you've come to is just a product of arbitrary circumstances, it's not. It really isn't.
So do they put those things in there because they know that we need a car, right?
You also need electricity to your house. They put that in there too. You also need water, right? You think water is a right? No, you don't have a right to water. We controlling that. It's in your television contracts. It's everywhere. But people are not going to read 67 pages of very small print. They're not going to do that.
So they do have us.
By the short and curlies, correct.
I think almost everywhere you turn, they have got there first. I mean, even conspiracy, they've hijacked the conspiracy sector, and so on. Just it seems to me everywhere you look, they've got there, haven't they? They've got.
I never thought I'd ever see the day when corporate hijacked spirituality. I had a meeting at 5:30 a.m. my time this morning with the editor of a magazine on spirituality asking me to do a publication for them. So it was a Zoom meeting. So, I had to do my research, right?
Yeah.
You know that one of most of the major spiritual magazines that are out there online and in print are being financed by other people through the advertising dollars, right?
Yep.
So they're just using you to pad shit. And I'm like, no. We got to talk about that one, Andrew. Privately, I'll tell you about that, right? All of the major spiritual publications that we used to take advice from, they've moved into that section. So they're bending the minds of people who would...
Hold on, David, you forgot about it. Most of them went out of business and somebody bought the rights to them and resurrected them out of nothing.
Yes,
okay? And print magazines are no longer the original owners, editors in any way, shape, or form. Their intellectual property was put into a big package of stuff that was sold around during bankruptcy times, especially post-2008. Can't tell you how many spiritual websites and website groups went out of business, okay? And then many of them were in the holdings of the courts until they were able to have fire sales for them. And then all these media conglomerates started buying them up.
Examples. And you know this, and we know this because you had appeared on one of them, and we know it's different now, right?
Right. Do you know the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue? Remember that?
Yeah.
That was the biggest thing for the longest time. It has been bought and sold 10 times since the late 90s. And a person that owns it now made the mistake and went LGBTQ and put a fat transvestite on the swimsuit issue, and they lost everything. Okay.
Wow.
The same thing with the owners of all the big gaming websites, IGN, Kotaku, etc. They let in all these woke morons who are doing more damage to the brand than anything else to the brand. Same reason G4 TV failed when they try to bring it back. Okay, they're trying to use all of these old names to promote the new system. And again, they're just recycling and reusing all of the old names. And when it came back to those old times, the vast majority of people that were spiritual never bought those magazines to begin with. They went after gurus before magazines because those magazines were in such few shops.
I think I want, can I share my screen? I want to show people something. I screenshotted what I was talking to you about earlier today, Andrew. I think it would be instructive to the audience to put it on screen.
I think there's an issue with the Zoom today. Can you get him ability to share screens, Joel?
I already have it. All right, so give me a second. Let me show the audience what is going on. So for years and years, I have been claiming that what is going to happen for a lot of people is that they are going to marginalize spiritual people. I've said it for many, many years. I want you to put on screen what I'm going to try to put this on screen so that you guys, let me move this out of the way. This is a platform that I normally use. I'm going to try to expand it so that you guys can see it. Can everybody see my screen?
Yeah, it's very small. We can't read it at all.
I can read.
So,
Yeah, I can read.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hello, David. Thank you for your patience. After careful review, we found that your courses contain content such as meditation, hypnosis techniques, and spiritual contracts around money, that would be revocations, that do not align with our platform's guidelines due to the potential risks these practices pose. As a result, we cannot continue hosting these courses. However, you're welcome to use our platform for other compliant content. Your account remains active, and we encourage you to review our guidelines for future content. Thank you for understanding. You guys heard that?
Yep.
So, David, they've been doing this to the Christians for a very long time.
It's our turn.
Yeah, it only is in Christian websites now.
Well, what were they doing with the Christian side of it?
They were marginalizing their ability to have publications or publish their stuff on online course holding places, other places that aggregate teachings or teachers.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting because the potential risks that meditation.
David, like I told you earlier, I think you just ran into a very politically motivated person that is on a cancellation tour. I mean, that may be happening in the industry, but I think in this individual one, this is a cancellation tour, and you're just one of the many targets. He's trying to purge his site and re-give it his own brand.
Is he? My question was: is he complying to somebody else? Did somebody else tell him to do this? Is he? Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
Amy, I honestly don't know. But when it is that you write a stupid email like that,
we should collectively write a letter back.
Right. When you write a stupid email like that, when you consider meditation, hypnosis, and spiritual contracts as inherently potentially risky, you sound like we're back in the 1800s, Dread.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, cancellation. That's what it sounds like, a canceller.
This is what I think. I think that the spiritual people are going to be the last, and I've said this on several shows already. Y'all are going to be the last set of free thinkers that there are in the world. And corporate is not going to tolerate that. I said that on many shows. They're not going to tolerate that, because being a spiritual person means that you subscribe to the concept of sovereignty. And sovereignty is something that cannot be tolerated anymore. These people are crazy.
David, he's the inverse of this situation. You ran across a person that's an extreme Christian and is kicking any material off of their site that isn't Christian.
Granted. No, everybody has the right to put in whatever policies they want. However, what used to happen was that you needed a rationale for your policy. The letter I just read to you guys has no rationale whatever. Because hypnotherapy is scientific.
Right. Because it's a purge letter, David. That's what I'm saying. That letter was to purge their site. and for them to go through a rebranding of bringing in new people.
Mm. And you wonder when this nonsense will end. At this stage of the game, when people are choosing what content people can consume and not consume, and everybody says, this is a free world that we're living in, and we know that's not true.
So, David, you have to also know that if a company like that is going through a rebrand now during this time, it will not survive the changes that are coming, which are going to be the consumer purchasing process. And before, it used to be consumers would buy spiritual stuff. They're not buying the spiritual stuff now, and they're not going to buy it in the future until something's done about the economics. Okay, so it'll be lean times for the spiritual people moving through. Not to mention the way the internet has changed since Google broke the search engine system. Doesn't matter how much money you pay for SEO, you're not in Google Gemini anymore. But Google still hasn't fixed it. All those people paying for SEO now is absolutely worthless. And getting Google Gemini to recognize your material is very hard, let alone to have it aggregate you.
Yes, so for the people who don't know what Andrew's talking about, Google Gemini is Google's AI brain, really speaking. And so when you put a website out onto the internet, what Google Gemini does, it indexes, meaning that it recognizes that it exists. So when people Google, it's supposed to show up. So people used SEO, search engine optimization, to list their stuff on the web. But Google Gemini is not taking that into consideration anymore. So the protocols have changed. So for those of you who are paying anybody for SEO, stop doing it right now. Just stop. Just stop. Because it's not going to be effective, right? Anybody coming to you telling you, oh, we'll rank you at the top 5 of Google. That's a lot of bullshit right now, ever since Google turned that shit on.
And Google it has no fix for this break, which makes most people think they did it on purpose as a lead up to the selection. So anything after the selection, they have complete control over the aggregating search engines of all content.
Mm.
So if our stuff is aggregated, how will you ever find it?
This is another play. This is another level of play, by the way. The Gemini AI that they have released onto the world. Notice the way I phrase that. The Gemini AI they have released onto the world. Part of what they're doing is canceling out every other search engine that there is out there.
Yep.
Okay, because you used to have alternatives. I'm not going to use Google. I'm just going to use DuckDuckGo. You know what? I'm going to give you guys a little tip, okay? Download a browser named Tor browser, Tor, and use that browser. And tell Google to go, procreate with themselves.
Go fornicate with a duck.
But David, did you say something about the incognito too, that they still infiltrate that, even though?
Oh, yeah.
I think
off of your system now.
Listen, go ahead.
What is, Andrew?
It's off of your browser features now. They took it off.
Oh, wow.
So incognito will be a way for you to open a window that wouldn't be tracked, and would always erase your search history, and Google would never save any of it, and they lied.
They lied straight, like complete freaking lie, lied outright. And I'm like, there is no punishment for this. So people are trying to sue them. And when you say a company is too big for you to sue, I'll give you an example of what I mean. So there are two major phones in the world, Samsung and iPhone. When I was studying in school, we got to know that Samsung and Apple have special funds for being sued already set up.
Yep.
Like they have their own insurance companies within the company. So like you decide that you're going to sue them, they have a fund for that already. What's the point of suing them?
Yeah.
David, could you write that search engine in the chat for people, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
So I have a question. What about, do we need more whistleblowers? Because knowing that Google, obviously there was a whistleblower that came through that said they're still... Huh?
Dozens of whistleblowers. The thing is, once you come out as a whistleblower, it goes to Congress, and Congress does nothing.
Wait a minute. Okay. But if a whistleblower came out with information, why did they go to Congress?
Because that's where the whistleblowers go. That's Whistleblower Protection Act.
Oh, okay.
Now, oftentimes these whistleblowers have already told the DOJ and all the relative policing groups about it, and they're choosing to do nothing about it.
Oh, okay. Here I'm thinking whistleblowers just...
The answer is we do need warm whistleblowers, but we also need a Congress that has a spine.
Yeah, yeah.
Which we don't have, or a Senate that has a spine.
Yeah.
Or a president.
Or a president, I was just going to say.
We have nothing that has a spine.
Yeah. Wow.
It will get to a stage. I think this is history repeating itself.
Yeah.
I think that it will get to a stage where people will begin to realize what is going on. I think a lot of them have already, but the information blockade that they have in place is spectacular. As an example, it used to be when you wanted to enact a policy in the free world, you would have something called a referendum. You would go to the citizens of a country, and then you would ask them, what do they think about X, Y, and Z? That's what a referendum is, okay? Like election around an idea. In Canada, as an example, they initiated Bill C-16 and Bill C-32. Bill C-16, for those of you who don't know what that is that free speech is only allowed. They compel you to use certain words as an example. It's a compulsion. They didn't do a referendum because if you ask the majority of the world's population, how do you feel about, or country's population, how do you feel about certain topics, you're afraid of the answer you're going to get, so you force it through legislation and through punitive measures. And I think what has been happening is there's a lawfare that's going on. The people who are into law, I read all of the new laws that are being created in certain regions of the world. There's not going to be a constitution anymore if they continue like this.
Right.
Yeah.
You are in the UK, Laura. You are in the UK, Laura. You know you could get arrested by saying certain things online right now? By saying them.
Whoops.
Yeah, you should have been arrested ever since, actually, for that matter. Like, I'm calling the cops, right? You could be arrested by saying certain things online. There's certain things in UK law that I have no idea how the English allowed them to get passed. You guys are supposed to be the top tier in terms of lawmaking and law processes. And I'm like, what the hell? Yeah. You have people going into people's homes and arresting them because they say certain things online or they make a Facebook post. What the hell is wrong with y'all? What's going on?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
They're trying to prove their power, battling the cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I do know in Canada, what we have is, if anybody took a referendum, I would like to do a poll in Canada. Gee, Canadians, how many of y'all like, the current prime minister? But just saying that might get me arrested. You understand how these people work. So these are the kinds of things that you have to contend with, and they've been creeping in slowly into the legislation bit by bit. People have not actually realized, because it's like frogs in a pot of boiling water. And not until somebody's knocking on your door asking you why you said that you're going to have a problem, right?
Wait, do they give you a warning? Let's say you did that. Do they give you a warning before you post it like this could get, you're violating something?
No.
They don't.
They just come to your door and arrest you.
Because you know how we can go on a site and it says for mature audiences only or something like I just did on Urban Dictionary. It said, this is for, they don't even do that.
Okay, let me give you some real cases so that you understand.
Yeah.
Okay. I wish I could pull this up. My Zoom has ceased, so I can't put things into the chat. I'm not quite sure. But let's take an example of a Canadian case as an example. There was a man whose daughter had transitioned. This is a BC case. Now, I dealt with the BC case. Obviously, the man is from the interior of BC, so he didn't grow up with the whole gender issues and so on. So he chose to continue referring to the child with the wrong pronoun. They arrested him. He's in jail. That is not a joke. That is not a joke. In the US, as an example, for y'all, the thing is a little bit different. They are taking away your ability to defend yourselves. So, New York subway, there was a guy with a criminal record who was terrorizing the train, the people on the subway train. A soldier who was there jumped in and restrained the man. Okay, he held him on the ground. The intent was not to kill him. The guy died from lack of oxygen. Okay, they prosecuted the soldier. When the man had a weapon and was terrorizing people on the train, right? You've heard of those cases because I read those cases. So in the US, it's different because they're trying to take away your ability to fight or defend yourselves because you Americans will fight. Everybody in the world knows this. Y'all are always a couple steps away from civil war or some issue or another, especially if you're from down south, okay? Right, you're a couple steps away from civil war, right? So that was another case. In England, I believe it was a newspaper guy, a reporter, made a Facebook post criticizing Parliament, and he put some insults inside it. They came and arrested him. He went on Piers Morgan and made a big stink about it. Like, how are you arresting me for making my Facebook post? All right. So these things are happening, and it's going over the public's head. And I just think it's going to be a time when there is no constitution. When you're talking about freedom, and this is for the spiritual people, those of you who are who want to believe in freedom and sovereignty, you guys are going to have to really think about how you're going to go through life in this world, knowing that your sovereignty is based on how people are going to look at you.
Do you think it's actually possible to live right out of the system? Let's take the UK, or just anywhere really. You're going to get a birth certificate when you're born, so you're already in the system then, aren't you? But we do have more and more people here. We see it. They're living in their vans. They're living in camper vans, or they're turning their vans around and living on the road. But even living on the road, you have to have, MOT. You have to have a driving license. So you are still somewhat in the system, aren't you? It must be almost impossible to live like off grid and be out of the system. It must always be able to have a track on you.
Well, you have to use money.
Yeah.
You go to a gas station, you pull out any kind of card, debit, credit, whatever it is, you're in the system.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you have to have insurance for your
If
vehicle.
you are, go ahead.
You have to have insurance for your vehicle.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. It's not something that people are going to be able to escape. I'm not quite sure what the answer to this is. But whatever the answer is, it's going to require everybody to stand up at the same time. Okay. It's going to require everybody to stand up at the same time.
But people
don't
have terrible abilities to do that.
Yeah.
Well, I think, as Andrew said before, we almost did it in the 60s.
I remember I remember having to fight Facebook. It's been an ongoing fight. So you want to put content out there, and we know that Facebook is a business. Let's say you're a spiritual person, you're a spiritual coach, or whatever else. You put your information on Facebook. What happens when you do that? Facebook determines whether or not they tell you advertisement. You chose not to buy the advertisement. So what does Facebook do? It restricts your content. This is a punitive measure. So you're restricted in your content. You say, nah, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to post my stuff to my profile, and then I'm going to get some friends to spread the word for me. Okay? Facebook tries to track and pretty much suppress your content all over the place. When I demonstrated to some people, I don't know if in the webinar that I did, that when you click a link that I have sent you in Messenger from Facebook, Facebook adds a line of code to the link that I've sent you. Amy, you've had that experience.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Facebook adds a set of code to the link. The code that is added to the link. Okay, so let's say you're my friend on Facebook. I send you a message and I send you a link. You click the link inside your messenger to go to a website. Facebook is watching where you're going. If it can't track you where you're going, it's going to tell you, you're leaving Facebook. It's not safe. You should just stay in here. You'll have gotten, everybody has gotten that message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? If you leave Facebook, that little code that you have just tracked is tracking you everywhere. Which is why when you look on the side of your browser, you see things popping up that it's like the ads are following you, right? And everybody knows this. To some degree or another, they just don't know how it's been done, but it's not cool. It happens so fast when you click that link, the code is attached to your link and it disappears.
Okay, but what is this tracking for? I don't understand. What do they do with all this information? Trying to sell you stuff? Trying to push things your way? My guess.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Is that what it?
I'm going to give you the 30,000-foot view according to Andrew. Let's say that you're a customer. I am Google. Okay. People pay me to follow you around. Okay. So you're a customer. I'm Google. And let's say Andrew is, I don't know. What does Amy like to buy?
I don't know.
Let's say Andrew is your favorite chocolate company. Okay?
Oh, okay.
We're going to call it Galactic Chocolates.
Okay. All right.
Exactly.
Okay, so
Galactic Chocolates comes to me. Wait, let me just give you this
scenario. Go ahead.
And tells me, I need to sell a lot more Galactic Chocolates, right? And there are people like Amy around. So you come to my platform and you're just having fun on my platform, looking up school friends. And you type something along the lines of, God, I could use a Galactic chocolate right now. Well, that was a mistake that you have made. Because now I know you like Galactic chocolates. You know what's going to happen? When you open up that phone, and they all share information, all of them, right? When you open up that phone, it's not like Facebook and Google is not in league with each other. And you decide, oh, let me go to, I don't know, a site to get my news. On the little side panel of your news, Galactic Chocolate's billboard is going to be like, the little signs on the side, right? You decide that you go to the supermarket, okay? Somehow or the other, the phone is going to be telling you Galactic Chocolate. Your tracking device is in your hand, right? Yeah. So when Galactic Chocolates, Andrew paid me money, my thing was to make sure you don't last one day without seeing Galactic Chocolates anywhere on your phone, okay?
Okay, but I get that. So Andrew has to shake hands with you to get his Galactic Chocolates to move, right? So what the algorithm sometimes gets missed, when we're trying to promote things or something, it recognizes a certain algorithm, and then I get like nothing on my Facebook. All I get is, let's say I'm looking up something to exercise, like a stretch or something, and then that's all I get. I don't get friend things like.
But you haven't bought anything, Amy, and that's what you get because you didn't buy anything. Why not? Listen, if I am in charge of the algorithm and Andrew's paid me to buy to sell you Galactic Chocolates, I am making sure that anything else you're interested in, apart from what Andrew has paid me, is Galactic Chocolates. You could be searching for shoes, but there's going to be a Galactic Chocolate somewhere in the shoes. Okay, that's how it is.
Wait a minute, though. There's 10,000 other chocolate factories that are making chocolates. So what makes you say Amy needs these? Oh, I said it in my text, but what if I just said the word chocolate? I need some chocolate.
Remember that Andrew paid me a lot of money. So what makes it, he's going to pay me more money than the other chocolate factories. So I can guarantee, Andrew, that if I pressure you enough, and just so that we're clear, let me give you guys some tips. The human mind works like this. In order to make somebody buy something or take an action, they need the repetition. They need to see that thing or the call to action 3 times. 3 times is all it takes for me to make you act. That's how the human mind works. It's an equation in advertising. Okay? Now, I don't have time to teach you all a big class on hypnotherapy or CBT. But it takes 7 times for me to change your mind on something. Let's say you want to eat Galactic Chocolates. Laura comes and she's selling shamanic chocolates. Okay? Yeah. But you see, Andrew only paid me $5 and Laura's going to pay me $10. So let me tell you something. I am going to bombard you in your email, I'm going to bombard you every which way, and your mind is going to change. You're going to try the chocolates. I'm going to lie to you. I'm going to tell you that those chocolates, the shamanic chocolates, will bring you back to your shamanic roots. I'm going to tell you it's better for your body. I'm going to tell you that when you eat shamanic chocolates, a child in Africa is saved. And I know for sure that I am lying through my teeth. So eating shamanic chocolates is better for the environment. I'm going to lie to you all different kinds of ways until your mind changes.
Okay, but what happens to the Galactic Chocolates? I know Laura's paying you more, but is this kind of like a pyramid scheme?
It is it's Amway, okay. Yes. That's what it is.
Okay, I just got a big pyramid like this.
It's high level Amway.
It's high level.
It's high level Amway, and here's the thing that people don't get when they're looking at stuff online. You got to be careful.
Yeah.
You got to be careful what you put into the online space. Because sometimes the AIs that they are using, the bots that they are using, get stuff wrong. Okay? And a lot of people have gotten into trouble because, listen, for those of us who believe that, oh, porn is free, I'll just go on a porn site. And then you find your entire algorithm messed to hell up.
Yeah.
If I send you like some sort of video, right, in Messenger or or via Facebook or in your email and so on, and it goes through Gmail and so on, and they pick up, oh, it's porn. You're like, well, okay. Instagram, as an example, people send you weird videos and so on, and then your entire algorithm gets screwed to hell up because now they're bombarding you with this particular kind of content, and you're like, but I don't even like that kind of content. Some idiot sent me this stuff, right? Yeah. This is how it works.
So is Alexa listening, David, even when you're not talking to it?
Alexa, yeah, no, it's listening. You see, let me put it to you this way, Laura. Google lied about incognito browser. Oh no, just use our incognito browser. Nobody will track you. You really think that Google Home and Alexa are telling you the truth when they said when you mute it, it's not listening? I do not trust these people at all.
No.
Yep. It does have a mute button on it. It does have a mute button on it. So you're saying they're still listening.
Yes, you have to decide whether you care. You have to develop a certain amount of indifference to people. Okay? So right now I have Alexa, I have Google in my house, and I do not care. You could send me whatever you want, but it's your mind that makes a difference, huh?
Mm. Yeah. I mean, I think you said once, Andrew, when people were querying about getting your DNA or getting your fingerprint, and you said they already have everything on you that they need.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. It's a bit too late anyway, because from the first time you bought that first phone, they found out everything that they needed to know about you.
Yeah.
They found out everything for the first time before all of this happened. And this has been a data collection. So you ask, what is the value of the data? Is it just selling you stuff? No, it's not only selling you stuff, because it can do predictive texting as to what you are going to do.
It does that, yes.
It does a predictive modeling, I should say, of what you are going to do. So you have AIs now that could tell your future. You want to know why they could tell your future? Because I know I'm going to send you galactic chocolates, and your mind is going to be like, oh, I feel for something really sweet to eat. I should probably go out and get something and pop some galactic chocolates, right? But then it might be shamanic chocolates depending on who paid me that day. My God. People, the world we are living in has become, I think people think that all the stuff that we talk about is sometime in the future. It's not a big problem yet. So there is no urgency. But there is urgency because we are living in those times now. Mm-hmm. And if you are not au fait with technology, then what's going to happen is that you think that it's something in the future, nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
Incidentally, those AIs are in your phone, right? Mm-hmm. So Google is in your phone if you have a Samsung, and Siri is in your phone if you have an iPhone. Mm-hmm. And people say, I'll just turn Siri off. I'll just turn Google off. Listen to me, guys. Let me explain something to you. This is technology, and believe me, I've studied it. There is no escape. None. No. The only escape is if you're going to become a Buddhist monk, move up into the Himalayas. Actually, no. GSM reaches the Himalayas now, so you can't escape that anyway. Right?
You can't go and meet with your friends and talk like in the garden shed, can't you?
Wait, how about
Yeah.
What if you turn your phone off?
Laura, a bunch of Arabs tried that. Apparently, the drone could hit you in the garden shed. Based on if you have your phone on you, okay? You can ask Andrew about that. But listen, a drone can hit you from all the way out there, right? Oh. A drone is like 2 miles up into the sky, send a rocket to destroy you because you have the wrong phone on you. Wow. And that's why these Arabs are so pissed, you know. These drone strikes makes everybody pissed off. And then some people say, go ahead.
No, go on, David. Finish your sentence.
And as of recently, people say, oh, they can't track us if we use beepers. God damn it.
Oh, I know.
They can't track us if we use beepers. Well, it didn't need to track you, they just needed to blow you up, right? God.
Ooh.
Andrew, there was a time when you said the system could predict us like months, weeks, or whatever, and you ahead because they use their prediction models for everything for us, don't they? For control. So, but that has reduced, hasn't it? Because of the
they used to be able to predict you years and sometimes into future lifetimes.
yeah.
Now they've got it down to less than about 90 days.
Okay. So that's better. I mean, that's an improvement. So
that means it's not they're not omniscient over our choices.
Yes.
That means things can happen within ourselves in a one degree of separation that can create a rapid, excessive change.
Okay. For example.
Somebody comes into your life that wasn't in your life before, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, only the future will tell, but that person's in your life versus that person being blocked from your life because of economic or political or religious reasons in your region.
Yeah. Okay.
Somebody just decides to move there, and that puts things within your karmic cycles.
And that's where all this, the spiritual side that we obviously all talk about and the practices and so on, they do help you step out of the system. It's like you always spoke about cooking because it's very creative and the system is not going to be able to predict what recipe you're putting together, is it?
Right.
So there's other things within what we do that they cannot and won't ever be able to predict. And that's where we need to be, isn't it?
Right. The journey there is the journey there.
Yeah. But it's not for everybody, is it? Because not everybody wants to do spiritual practices. So where does that leave? And I don't know what percentage it is of the population, but where does it leave the others who are, need to see what is actually happening but aren't seeing? All they're seeing is chaos and knowing that they're being pushed more into survival and, all the shit coming up with all the politics. Where does that leave those people without any sort of spiritual beliefs or practices or understanding of sovereignty and how to work as outside the system as you can?
I don't really slow down and compact what you're just trying to say. That's a lot in one statement.
Yeah. Where does it leave the people who don't follow spiritual practices within all this chaos? It leaves them buffeted around by the system.
No. Oftentimes the system sees them as advantageous to them and doesn't necessarily buffet them around, but puts them into static, repetitious situations to maintain power. The system is going to use its tool. It's not everything's going to be, there will be certain people who will make great buffer zones because they love misery. And they'll put the people who love misery into those buffeting places first.
You forgot the fact that the system can weaponize them against the people who have spiritual practices. And they have very effectively. Right? I just read you something there. Like, seriously, like, you think that individual who wrote me that is some normal person? That person has been weaponized in his own mind, thinking about different things, right? And he may be a fanatic for the system, but that email I wrote, when you think of meditation as a risky and dangerous practice, like, how many people died from meditation in the last? Why am I laughing at this? Like, this one, like, oh yeah. Meditation is right up there with smoking and doing some methamphetamines. I suppose it is. right? But when you get somebody so twisted up in the mind that they can write these things with confidence, then you see a weaponization of people, okay? And I do think that as spiritual people, y'all subscribe to a concept of sovereignty, right? We all subscribe to the concept of sovereignty, and that is not going to be tolerated in due course. So you guys need to be careful, you know?
Yeah. What sort of changes do you think we'll be forced to make, not being able to do, like talking stick shows and things? With such openness?
Well, let's put it this way. Your algorithm, in terms of talking stick, here's what I think is going to happen to people who are advocating for sovereignty and so on. They're going to be the new crazies. So they're going to, this is a new, I've been watching the patterns in law and in government over the last few years. So if you don't agree with the system, you fall into the category of racist, phobic about something. Either you're racist, you're phobic about something, or you're a conspiracy theorist, right? You're either one of these three things, okay? Now, as spiritual people, may I make a suggestion to you all? Don't give in to that bullshit, okay? Don't let people put you into a position where you're afraid to speak, okay? Because that's the point of it. As an example, Amy and Laura, okay? You now are talking to a black guy. Did you know that? Did you all know that I was black?
What?
Wait.
Really?
Yes, I've been hiding amongst you all. Right. Did you know that I was black? Now, let's say it's kind of like, I keep using this example. You guys brush your teeth with Crest. I brush my teeth with Colgate. You want to know why you choose Crest? Because you are white supremacists. That's why.
I think it says it on the package if you buy this.
because I could pull up some facts that say that Crest was actually, the name of that brand was actually Family Crests, which is the colonial mentality that you have. You hear the bullshit coming out of my mouth?
Yes.
You hear the bullshit that's coming. I know it's bullshit I'm talking, but the point is to make you feel uncomfortable so that you don't speak and you don't use Crest anymore. So you might go and switch to Colgate, but I know the two of y'all won't switch to Colgate because y'all are like that. Y'all are very problematic, which is why we have to cancel them, Andrew. Mute their mics.
Why, are you paying Google? Are you paying Google for Colgate?
Right. This is the bullshit that is happening in the population right now. So they put you into an unpleasant category and they tell other people that you are that person. And so spiritual people, you guys are going to come under attack this kind of way. All right? And you guys have to be vigilant and you'll have to grow a spine. But the whole purpose of having spirituality is to have a spine. Right? People always talk about the nice parts of spirituality, generosity, compassion, good Samaritan stuff. They don't talk about the gritty parts. The parts, like if you are a Christian, you always talk about love and compassion and Jesus fed the masses and so on. You don't talk about the part where he was given a choice of either death or renounce that he's the Son of God and he chose to die.
Yeah.
Okay? They don't talk about that part and you guys are going to have to die on that cross yourselves. Okay, that's a very horrible thing I just said. Let me rephrase that. You guys are going to have to stick to your guns when it comes to how you present yourselves in the world. Because people are going to tell you that the way you're presenting yourself is wrong. And of course, you're going to still use Crest, right? Because they're classifying y'all as religious zealots as well. I have heard spiritual people being called the new Christians, new Christianity. It was in an article in one of the biggest spiritual magazines. It was just in an article. I just read it this morning. Spirituality is the new religion. Okay. Preaching, telling people that in some spiritual circles we're preaching division, which is theoretically correct, but the division that we're preaching is not animosity in terms of division. Okay? You can choose to be different. But you shouldn't necessarily choose to hurt people who are different. You know?
All right.
These are the things that are happening as we speak. Because I spoke to Andrew this morning and I went on a deep dive exploration as to what is going on that I haven't been paying attention to. And these are the things that are happening. I see attacks on spiritual people. If you Google it right now, spiritual people are being accused of all sorts of stupid nonsense. So be careful. And don't ask for the yoga community. That's lost. So forget that.
Yes.
The yoga community is lost. Totally lost. I don't even know.
Most of these communities, David, it's because they have no real conflict management and too many people are online, and you can't keep a brand through all online, especially when you have people that run these physical locations that have all this drama going through them.
You can imagine that there's such a thing as yoga politics.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure there is.
Oh God. You imagine a bunch of sad gurus going at each other.
A bunch of sad, like SAD, sad, like very sad gurus.
Oh God, like, wow. I remember that it used to be that the sad gurus, you sit on a hill, you say some wise words, and then you go about your business. No, they become political activists now, right? So it's hilarious.
You couldn't make it up.
No.
Right. Is anybody going to put their hand up to chat with us? Or are we going to...
No, I have a better idea. Lillian, why don't you come online? I'm going to call you out, Lillian. Lillian, unmute your mic and come in. I haven't met you directly. You want to be brave and come in?
Yeah, come in.
There you go. Hi,
here.
Lillian.
Hi, Lillian.
Yeah. Hello. Hi, everybody.
Tell it, I know, but tell everybody where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Totnes. Shall I put my video on or not? Would you rather? Is you brave enough to want to see me? There we go.
Of course we want to see you.
Yeah. Put it on.
All right. Okay. I think I can work it out. There we are.
There we are.
How you doing?
Yeah, good. I'm enjoying the show, man. Been doing some sketching while I was listening to you all. Yeah.
Okay, so Lillian, I have seen some of your comments, so I know that you're always online. Tell us some stuff about. Tell me some stuff about what you're seeing. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Totnes in Devon, in the UK, which is in the West Country. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a bit of a hippie town.
Okay, and
not as bad as Glastonbury, but yeah.
What is the spiritual community like out where you are?
It's pretty good, I'd say. I mean, it's a bit more grounded than Glastonbury, where you're really just flying in there. And there's quite a lot of dark stuff there. But the spiritual community is quite strong here. We have a lot of healers and people who are actually managing to make, a decent living from what they do. So, yeah, what you've been predicting there doesn't feel good, when you're all talking about it being going to be a hard time for spiritual healers and people who are in this business. I mean, there are certain things that haven't hit this area yet, like we don't have a float tank here yet, I think that they've opened a float tank in or a center in Glastonbury now. Don't know if you guys heard of this, but that's quite big news here. Yeah, we've got really good craniosacral therapists, and there's we have colonic centers. We've got too much yoga that's it's just exploding here. You can't even.
Yes.
I mean,
what kind of yoga is it? Commercial? Is it commercialized?
Mix yoga. I think part of the problem is that this place started about 20 years ago. A lot of people came out of London who wanted to live in the countryside and give their kids a good education. And there's a straight train line from London to Totnes. So that made it really easy for people to still commute and their kids to go to good schools. And now those people have kind of established here, and there's a really big community of artists, musicians, writers. I mean, it's an incredible creative community. But now, after 20 years, the commercial, corporate businesses are coming in. This town particularly has been known for its independent shops. So we don't have a McDonald's, we don't have KFC, we don't have any of those chain stores here. And we even had the Totnes pound for a while. We had our own currency, which was pretty good actually.
What happened?
Yeah, it didn't last. People didn't back it. Just not enough people backed it. So it ended up not really being viable for people.
I don't know who the mayor of Totnes is, but he should pay you for because now I want to move.
Yeah, okay. Unfortunately, the mayor of Totnes lives in my former house, which I got kicked out of 2 years ago, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, I'll forgive her. She needs a nice place to live.
Okay. All right. So tell me, in terms of living in a community which is a little bit more open and so on, I remember when I was in England, I lived for a little bit in a place called Lymington. Don't laugh, both of you, Laura, and Lillian, don't laugh. I lived in Lymington. It's near the Isle of Wight.
Leamington Spa.
Yes, correct.
No, Lymington. You lived at Lymington, Lily. New Forest.
Oh, not Lymington. Okay. I thought
Lymington.
No, it's one of those. It was one of those towns, right? That you could the people manicure the grass. Okay.
Oh God.
And then there's the main street and so on. But they had an active resistance to Tesco and all these cost-cutter franchises. They had an active resistance towards big corporate coming in. And you saw the little mom-and-pop shops, and the environment was completely different. Apparently, with the change of your government, all of these big companies came in and destroyed that place. But it was a little haven.
Mm. Well, this is it. The corporates are coming in now, and we're seeing the chain stores coming. The small businesses are not able to cope anymore, and they're all going down. They're all going bust. Our little local bookshops and cafes, they're all closing. We've just had one chain store open downstairs, and they literally just trucked everything in. In one day, they furnished the whole cafe. I just couldn't believe it. And every morning they're just driving in their supplies, like, from a warehouse. Nothing is local, which is so against what we're all about here. We have a lot of little factories here that we make our own nut milks. We make our own. We have our kind of dairy, cheese makers. We have people who do wine. We have all these local businesses that make their own produce, including meat farms and everything. Farmers market is twice a week, and it's thriving. But I even see in my community where I run a small gathering every Thursday at a piece of land where we grow food, and there's a roundhouse, and we sit around the fire. I cook a big pot. I mean, I grew up in the Caribbean, so I cook lots of Caribbean food. And people like it out here because they don't get that very much. And
What part of the Caribbean did you grow up in?
I was born in Kingston in Jamaica. No, I said what? Sorry. Born in Africa, sorry, in Kenya, and then grew up in Jamaica for my primary school years.
Okay.
And then lived in Trinidad and Tobago for about 10 years. Tobago mostly. Yeah, married a Trinidadian.
I'm in St. Lucia. Went to school. I have family in Trinidad, and I went to school in Barbados.
Yeah.
In the early years, yes. So my question is, with regard to this sort of commercialization of the space there, is the energy shifting in your area? Like, I remember that when I lived in Leamington, there was a kind of love that was in the air, kind of like when people sold you things, there was a kind of love that was in the air. I'm using the word love.
Yeah.
What is the word I'm looking for here, guys?
Community.
Unity, camaraderie. Unity.
Camaraderie. Yeah. I definitely think it's also I prefer to spend money on something that one of my friends has made it locally than something that's been brought in from, God knows where. To live according to the seasons, that's really encouraged here as well. I mean, I still like my papayas. I can't really say that I'm completely seasonal in that sense. But, it is your own. We still have free will in these things. And we're very fortunate that way. But I'm seeing in my community now, with the space that we hold, I do that. It's not a ticketed event. So I do it with a magic hat. So I will put my money and go and buy the groceries in the local, grocery here, which is mostly local veggies and stuff that I get. And then on the evening itself, I'll go around with a hat and ask people to donate. We hire the space. I tell them how much it's going to be. If there's not enough money in the hat, we go around again with the hat and we sing a nice song. And usually we do make the money. And if we don't make it on that night, we'll make it on another night. We'll do something special.
God.
We'll have a jam, or we'll have a
sauna. I'm definitely moving to Totnes. Everybody, we're moving to Totnes. We are. And Leslie.
I've already invited Laura and Amy and Dale, but you're invited too, David. And I'm really pleased to actually speak to you, because I've been listening to your shows for a very long time, but for some reason, every time I come on, you're not there.
Yeah, I'm there now. I'm there today. I am definitely there today. Leslie Shear, I see that you live in Woodbridge. Leslie, would you like to come on? Be like this. Like, come on, just come on. I'm calling people out in the audience because this is going to be that kind of show. All right, Leslie, if you are able to come on, we would like to speak to you because you live in Woodbridge. And I have been through there.
Oh, have you? Oh, hi. Yeah, I spoke to you actually a couple of weeks ago, David, but I've changed my, hang on. Oh, well, yeah, you can have my video if you want.
Hello, Leslie.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi,
I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago. I've changed my surname, so you probably, I don't know if you would remember anyway, but...
You changed your surname? Have you gotten married?
Did you get married?
No, I haven't.
Did you get divorced?
No. No, no, I thought about changing my name quite a few years ago. This is actually my real name, but my name was changed by deed poll by my mother.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So, and I want to change it back, and I'm just trying it out but it's Shay. It's pronounced Shay.
Shay. Okay.
It's from, I think it was originally O'Shea, from Irish. Yeah, and then they tended to drop the O's, so it's Shay. Yeah.
Leslie, where's Woodbridge? Where's Woodbridge, darling?
It's in Ireland.
It's Suffolk.
Suffolk.
Yeah, so it's nearish to Felixstowe.
Yeah, I've got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Tell them what Woodbridge is like.
Well, it's actually it's a riverside town.
It's now.
Yeah, it's quite small. Before COVID, there were lots of little independent shops, which some have closed down. We had a lovely bakery and things like that. We've got some lovely greengrocers and some just nice little independent businesses. And it's just a lovely community. There's people who look after the place, you know. There's no real litter anywhere, and if there is, it's like, you know, people kind of take care of where they live, and yeah, it's just a really nice place to live. Yeah, I've been here probably, well, I've been in Suffolk 10 years. I moved from North London, so it's a big change, but it took a bit of getting used to. But I'm really, yeah, I love the kind of semi-rural existence here. It's really nice.
What is the energy like there?
It's I'm not really sure how to describe it. It's very there are lots of very wealthy people who live in the area. I mean, I'm not one of them, but yeah, I don't really know. That's a difficult question, actually. I don't really know how to describe it.
Okay,
people
so
are
let me
really,
ask.
really friendly and yeah, quite kind of laid back and I don't know, fairly easygoing. People. When I first came to Suffolk, I did feel a bit of an outsider. It took me a while to really feel kind of part of the community, if you know what I mean. But I don't know if I think when my parents moved here as well, and where they lived in a village, I think one of the neighbours said, "Oh, we've been here 7 years, and people are now just starting to accept us because you know it's a bit of yeah, you know, is that I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you know. If I can't really see it from the other side, but
Leslie, what is it that you do?
I'm sorry.
What is it that you do? What is your spiritual practice?
I practice Reiki, or I have done. I'm going to start up again. I spoke to you a couple of weeks ago, and you gave me some affirmations.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, you gave me a list of affirmations to look at, and I think I've done quite well. But yeah, it's mainly Reiki. That's what I do. But I'm thinking of now doing some more training in sound healing next year.
Okay, and what exactly are you hoping to specialize in?
Well, I'm going to have a look at gong therapy. That seems to be quite a popular thing, but yeah, there's
Why did you go down that road?
Pardon?
Why did you go down that road?
Why that road? Well, I've got a friend who suggested it to me, and yeah, I'm going to give it a go. Well, I'm going to have a look at it anyway. That's what I'm thinking of doing. Sound. I've thought of it quite a few years ago before I started Reiki. I already do. I've trained in the Reiki drum therapy as well.
I sense a story here. How did you get into all of this?
Into
healing, period. Spirituality and then healing.
Oh, I think it was, well, I mean, really my entry into it was when I started to learn meditation. But I can't remember why I started. I think it was a friend of mine had bought a book and some cassettes or something. And she found it really good. And so I said, yeah, I'll give it a go. And I found it made such a change in me as a person, because I'd suffered quite a lot from depression, and it just helped me experience life more, I guess, and really notice how I reacted to things, and kind of being more aware of my emotions and things like that. So,
well, I get the feeling that you were a shy person before, and that really opened you up. Is that correct?
Yeah, it probably did. Yeah, I agree. Oh, I'm still well, I can be shy at times, anyway, but...
well, you just came on a live broadcast going to thousands of people, and you put yourself on camera. Yes. And then you have your business. What is that business? Could you just lean forward slightly?
Oh, I forgot it was on there because I have, sorry.
No, it's fine. You need to, Rose Heart Oracle. Okay.
Okay, yeah. This is something I kind of started a couple of years ago, but then I didn't get any further. I kind of dropped it, but I'm going to start it up again because I really love reading, doing card readings and stuff. So I want to.
Will you do a reading for us sometime?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. Who else is in the chat that likes to remain silent? Let's see. Jeff, I know you're at work, so I won't call you. Actually, I should probably call you at work. And everybody else is running away.
Yeah, the other guy.
There's no one else.
The other guy dropped.
Well, yeah. I'm glad that you guys have come on, because it's a while that you guys have been in the chat. So we called you all on because we want to meet y'all.
Oh, Jeff.
Oh, Jeff. Yeah. Jeff put his hand up, David.
Jeff, are you away from work? Oh, come in.
Hi. I stepped away from work for just a couple of minutes. Lunch break-ish.
All right, so let's do this quickly because you're on a lunch break, and I assume that you're going to eat, and I don't want to hear crunching of chips in a bag. You hear that, Andrew? All right, so anyway. So, Jeff, talk to me. Where are you calling from? Tell everybody.
From Irvine, California, presently. It's sunny. It's beautiful. It's great.
Nice.
Tell us where exactly Irvine, California is, and tell us what you're doing at work today. Jeff? You get the feeling that his boss just passed him?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you. Tell us what you do for work.
I'm working at a mobile ultrasound startup. We provide pregnancy ultrasounds to patients all over California at home. So today, currently, I am stuffing patient packs for my staff so that they can conduct their business.
I use ultrasound in my office as well for a completely different purpose.
I know. I'm excited about your applications.
So, yeah, that's basically what I do. All right, so Jeff, I didn't read your email, and I'm going to get to it because I'm in a remote place in the world at this present point in time. But I'm going to definitely get to your email. But what is the spiritual community in Irvine, California? What is it like?
So it's hard to find. It's hit or miss. I think that, look, when we make blanket statements, right, they're always filled with holes. So I'm careful now to understand that whatever my feelings are, they're not all encompassing. And what I think is most important is not really what the spiritual community here in my real life is doing specifically, but how I feel about everything at every given moment and whether or not I'm willing to engage. Because what I am noticing is that the spiritual community, whether without judgment, it's exhausting. It is. I just have to say, it's exhausting, right? There are egos, there are fake messages, there are charlatans, and everything in between. Plus, then on the other side, you have really genuine, good people who have great information and want to connect. And to discern your way through that muck is exhausting and takes so much time, so many dead ends. Yeah. But I think
that is a very good point you just made.
Oh, thank you. I was going to say that I think that there's a real polarized community, and I'm assuming that's everywhere, not just where I am, but that people are spiritual means something different to them, whether it's something religious or of a deity or extra outside of yourself way, or spiritual as in the more internal looking, I want to take control of my life and my path and my destiny wherever it leads. And I think that the difference being, I'm learning out here, there's the spiritual community that has an agenda, and then there's the one that is agenda-less. And I like the agenda-less one, because it doesn't mean they're not going places. It just means you don't have to put on that bullshit meter and worry about somebody trying to sell you on something.
Correct. Exactly. I'm going to tell you my own personal story right now. I left Canada and I'm in St. Lucia, where I was born. I ran into, well, actually, my father kind of arranged it. The lady who took care of me when I was a baby, like she saw me brought into the world, and she was actually the person who took care of me. And I had not seen this woman in over 40 something years. Wow. And the connection was still there. That was the most spiritual thing that has happened to me in years. The connection was still there because she bathed me, changed me and stuff like that. And so when she came up to me and she just hugged me, I was like, I haven't felt this mushy in years. I haven't felt this mushy in years. I'm like, what just happened to me? Right? And it rewrote something in my mind. You know, whenever you get into these spaces where you think they're not genuine people left, and then you run into a situation like that, I'm like, oh my God, this woman remembers me and cared about me all these years, all these decades. And I'm like, I'm not going to get a lot more of that, am I? So I am actually still in touch with her. I found a phone number. I want to stay in touch with her and so on. These are the things that happen in this little space where in the midst of the muck and so on, you get little, and this woman is not spiritual at all. I mean, she's religious, whatever else, but the connection was. So I think when people talk about spirituality, they get caught up on definitions as opposed to the feeling, the felt sense of harmony between people.
That's it.
Yeah.
People can not call themselves spiritual, but they just are.
Yeah.
Without without naming it, like giving it any kind of a label, they just are, and they just know how to be that kind of person.
Well, there's plenty of angels, aren't there, walking the earth who don't know they're angels?
Correct.
Yeah. Yep.
That is very
sadly, sadly, this is what's happening in our community as well, is that when they see a good thing, they want to capitalize on it. And we have people in our community that are now wanting to use the space that we've created for their own, events and
corporate ends. Yes, I get that.
Somebody's put it up on a big 1,000-member WhatsApp group, and we can't hold that kind of amount of people. So it's just going to kill our whole community vibe, because we're going to have to start ticketing it. I don't want to ticket it. It's supposed to be for everybody, so that people who really need it the most and who can't afford to come can actually come and sit around the fire and bring what they bring, whatever it is. If it's a dish of food or a game they know how to play or a song they want to sing, And that's so sad that things just get capitalized. And that's what I'm seeing in our community now, that you have to pay to go bloody foraging for seaweed. I mean, come on, £40 to go and look for some seaweed or mushrooms. It's ridiculous. Everything is so gentrified and everything is, capitalized on. And I agree that people need to earn a living, but certain spaces should be kept as community spaces.
Honestly, Lillian, go ahead, Laura.
I was just going to say, in the UK, who actually owns the seashore? Because if you have stuff washed up on the shore, you can claim it as salvage, can't you? Shipwrecks and stuff. It's not owned by anybody.
No. I mean, technically, I don't pay to go foraging, but I'm just saying that that's the trend now, that everything is being capitalized.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a local forest to me in Rendlesham, and now apparently you can pay to go walking in the forest. You can do the tree bathing.
I know.
You just go there.
Forest bathing.
And in England, you can buy the forests now too, right? I've seen that you can buy trees and land and become a duke or a duchess. A lord. That's it. Yeah.
I know.
Which I think is funny because of all the places in the world, it seems like Europe is running out of land the quickest.
Definitely. Yeah.
Can you imagine getting a certificate to become a lord and you own like a square foot of land, and you get this stupid title because your ego is so inflated? Who the hell is going to call you lord of the 1 square foot of land in the middle of England that you own? That gives you absolutely no rights.
Aren't we all lords of our property?
I think I heard someone who had done that for their cat, which I thought was hilarious.
Yes.
That's funny.
I've heard that
too. Mad.
Wow.
Somebody had done that for their cat?
They made, they got the square foot of and called the cat Lord whatever.
Lord Whiskers of the Shire. Like, oh my God, really?
That's funny.
The thing is that they're allowing people in different countries to buy the land, right? And
That's
I'm
the
like,
problem.
Yeah. How big does your ego have to be?
We have lots of Russians, Chinese. They're all coming up to buy the land here. It's crazy. And the local people can't find anywhere to live. Loads of people living in vans here. I mean, at least it's still possible here, but it's not what they really want. They don't want to, raise their families. Young couples who are wanting to start a family, they're living in vans. It's not right, man. And then this whole Airbnb trend is another thing that's just killing these small towns, because, the half of these places are sitting empty, and they are actually the houses that were meant to be for those who live here. And it's pricing everybody out of the market completely. Nobody can afford to rent here.
Well, it's in the tourist spots, isn't it, Lillian, in Devon and Cornwall? So people from the city buy the small cottages as second homes, or as you say, for Airbnb, and then it changes the whole face of the community, because, as you say, the young people can't afford to buy within their own community.
No, and then they're all scattered again, and then we have to start all over again, go somewhere else. But what we're trying to do now is get together and talk about moving together rather than all being scattered all over the place again. And then we have to start all over again. But yeah, that's in the making. We're just starting that now.
I'm going to give you guys. I want to give you guys a story. On the plane trip here, so St. Lucia has a spiritual community which is more along the lines of Orisha, which is a more Yoruban kind of African religion, right? Let me give you something that will probably make you laugh, and just try to be adult about this. I landed on the tarmac in St. Lucia. I got off the plane. there was a little show of spiritual La Waz and La Marguerite. It's part of that old African tradition, right? And so it was a little show before you enter the terminal for the airport for immigration. And guess what? What music was accompanying them? Steel Pan from Trinidad, which is a Trinidadian thing. So they just mishmash something. It's like, oh my God, you took a spiritual practice and you turned it into a show. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, I'm looking. I was like looking at this with horror. Okay, because I'm sure the Kele people who live in the interior of St. Lucia would be horrified. Right, that would have been a violent interaction had they been there. They turned it into, and you could tell the people who were taking part in this little show that was outside the terminal, right, had nothing to do with Kele, Yoruba, or any kind of oration. They had zero connection with that kind of thing. So, Laura, it's our version of what shamanic culture is. Okay. So for England, it would be Druids. For the American Indians, it would be shamanic culture. But in St. Lucia, we call it Kele. Okay? And so there were a bunch of people doing a Kele sort of ritual on the tarmac. And I'm like, what the hell? You wait until the planes land and then you just pipe up this ritual. I'm like, what the hell is going on? This is what is actually happened. Everything is just horrified. So I'm like, let me just get into this terminal and get out of here, okay? But this is what is going to happen. Can you imagine years from now? The yoga community, it went down the same road with people doing, there was a yoga Olympics. Did you hear about the yoga Olympics?
No.
Oh, you think this is a joke, right? Go Google it. The Yoga Olympics.
Oh my God.
There was a Yoga Olympics. Oh, that was funny stuff. Right? The Yoga Olympics.
I like that.
And I'm like, yeah, we're lost. A lot of things are lost, but every once in a while I do see that people are becoming a little bit more aware that these things are going on and they're changing. They're changing back to, like, I just want some authenticity in my life. So.
I wonder. I was going to say, I wonder how the Olympics are going to change California specifically, if not, how it's going to be received nationally and internationally coming up. Hello?
Is it going to be in California next then?
When is it coming up? Summer?
26.
Oh,
maybe?
26?
A few years away. They started building a lot of infrastructure for it.
Already, yeah.
Wow. But when it came to London, that's when I got made homeless because they made sure they were like cleaning out the city.
Oh.
This is the yoga.
Yeah.
This is the yoga.
I was thinking when we were talking about the buying land, also, you can buy stars too now. And I think that's ridiculous.
Yep. You can buy stars.
So a lot of us are thinking
they're calling it a novelty. Somebody tried to sue them saying, I don't actually own the star. Same thing with a title in the United Kingdom. Buy your title, they're also calling that a novelty too. Not a lot of really small parts of the title anymore.
Well, if buying a star helps you stay healthy in the next emergency,
I sometimes think
I might have a bridge to sell you.
Yes. Swampland.
You can imagine having disposable income enough to buy yourself a star.
It's not that much.
Who are you paying to buy the star?
Right. Who are you paying?
Buy the bridge. Bring your own suspension.
You can pay me if you like. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Oh dear.
I think laughing is going to be important moving forward, no matter which way this election
I think
shifts.
the best thing. Absolutely.
Yep.
And to not be dark about it, I think that whichever way the election goes, I think everyone loses. Everyone loses something. There's no winning, and I don't think that's the right mentality to have. I don't think it's about right and wrong and good and bad. I think we just need to rise above it. I don't know, personal thought.
I think what is going to happen, you're right, people are going to lose something. And even if the something that they lose is a little bit more of their humanity, they're going to lose something. But I think in terms of these situations really separate the wheat from the chaff. You have people here who are on a show that's still laughing with each other, right? And the will to reach out is always going to be there. But I think a lot of people are getting hardened to the fact, because when I started the show, I asked how many of y'all go to the supermarket with your hearts open, just willing to hug random strangers in the aisle and just have strike up a conversation and have this kind of interaction, which is a human interaction without, people thinking of you as, what can I get from you? What do you represent? What can I subtract from you? That kind of thing. That is becoming far in awareness. Yeah, but I think when I hear, this is why I'm asking you guys questions about where you are and where you come from and what the spiritual community is, because I want to know that there are still spots of light that are spread out.
Oh, definitely. I can go in the supermarket and I will chat with many people in the supermarket. But surely in St. Lucia, it's the same.
Yes, it is.
You can't pass people in the street. They all say hello to you, don't they?
Correct.
And they want to have a chat too.
Yes, and sometimes it's just about having that kind of interaction, especially if you know people. There's no such thing as coming into a room and not saying good afternoon to everybody. Okay.
Exactly.
I went to a Rastafarian shop today because I'm vegan and I'm starving because certain places are not as vegan friendly as they should be. And I went to a Rastafarian shop inside there today, and I because it's the Lush, I say good afternoon, everybody. Everybody starts a conversation and have this kind of conversation if you don't know these people from Adam. So there is still that element that is there. But I when I'm in North America, I dare not try that nonsense. I used to live in Toronto. When the first time I came to Toronto, Lillian, the first time I came to Toronto, I went inside an elevator with my Caribbean mentality. So I entered the elevator. There were lots of people inside there, and I said, "Hello, everybody," in an effervescent kind of way. Silence. Silence was the answer. Nobody answered me. Right? I said, "Good morning, everybody," and everybody silence. There's nobody answered back. And I'm like, okay, what happened here?
Yeah.
Everybody thought, who is this weirdo talking to us? I've been on the tube in London. Everyone's just don't pay it, don't draw attention to yourself.
Right. But this is not the way we were brought up in these kinds of places. So you're brought up, if you enter the room, you said hello to everybody. The second thing I had to learn a hard lesson is there was a lady who was coming on the train, the GO train in Toronto. And she had a bunch of bags and stuff with her because she just come from shopping, and she uses this train and she couldn't hold them on. So I'm like, "Can I help you?" She's like, "Don't touch me, don't touch anything." And I'm like, "No, I'm not trying to rob you. I'm just trying to help you." All right. So I had to learn hard lessons. So you have to shrink. You have to shrink your personality down, right? To avoid negative interactions with people when you're just trying to be that open-hearted guy. You got to shrink it down. You got to really think about the next person you try to help. Okay. And so
And that creates alienation. That creates separation. I think if you walk into a room and everybody knows that you have to greet everybody in the room, it acknowledges that you are part of the people that are there. You get an acknowledgement in that. And there is something so grounding in that. I think it's so vital. And it's such a small thing. I mean, yeah. And I have had the same experience when I go to London. I'm like, people watch me like, why are you asking the bus driver if he's having a nice day? Because
like
I'm just there with the guy, so I'm just gonna say, hi, how are you? How's your day? You know?
Who's the hippie chick out there? Who's the hippie chick out there?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
And Lillian, I love your Caribbean accent coming out. I have not heard that before.
Yeah.
No, I know. That's because I'm talking to David, I suppose. You know, so when I have a little smoke, that's when the Caribbean accent comes out. So yeah.
I love it.
I hear it now. I've been hearing it ever since.
Yeah.
I've been thinking of doing one of my contract revocation voices in the Caribbean voice. I think that would be quite fun, actually.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. It's a really good thing to
like
do.
Laura has the posh Laura, I can do a Caribbean Lil.
And Amy can chant hers. This is Andrew's idea from one of the mentorships, and it's absolutely brilliant because it just uncovers another aspect of you that you didn't know you had.
Totally. Yeah. So
such a cool way. And for some reason, the revocation feels different.
Yep.
Different bits of the revocation stand out to you. It's a great teaching.
And you add words that aren't even there because you're in that accent. You're in that accent, and it's like, I love it.
Yeah. And it gives it a whole new flavor, doesn't it? Completely.
Yeah, totally.
Because sometimes it can become a little monotonous if you're, repeating it one after the other.
Absolutely. It keeps it fresh. Yeah,
it does.
Totally. But then I've also been accused of cultural misappropriation because I'm talking with a Caribbean accent, and I say to people, well, watch me. I spent half of my life in the Caribbean. What do you want me to do? That's part of me. Because I can't
that is very correct. You sound very natural, woman. Don't let anybody tell you no nonsense. Don't let anybody try to shame you out of nothing. You sound extremely natural. I feel like I'm talking to somebody from the Caribbean. So don't let anybody tell you.
And one day you'll get to taste my food. I have fooled many a Caribbean, many a Trinidadian friend of my husband's who've been sat out on the porch eating the ackee and saltfish and the callaloo and the roti and everything that I cooked in the kitchen, and they couldn't believe it's me who cook it. They say my husband cook it. I said, no, she cooked that. When I met my husband, he had 7 children already. So I had to learn how to cook like a Trini and turn like a Trini, because when I went down in the market, I had to make sure they know I'm a local, otherwise they double charge me.
That is correct.
Wow.
Yes, and that's why that accent is important. She just hit the nail on the head there.
Wow.
So guys, we're coming up to the 2-hour mark. So it's been absolutely amazing show, hasn't it?
Thank you. I actually enjoyed the show.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff, for coming on. Thank you, Lillian, and thank you, Leslie.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, guys. I had a great time.
And
this was
really different and so cool.
Sorry, Brian. Brian just came in, but
we just need to sign out now. We've been here 2 hours, so Amy, can you tell people how to get hold of you?
Yeah, sure. Join our Universal Citizen media community called UCM Community at community.universalcitizentv.com. And this is a social platform. I think Lillian's on there. Jeff is on there. I don't know if Leslie is.
Brian.
And Brian.
I'm on that too, Amy.
And Laura and Joel. are on there. So this is a place where you can just share your knowledge and experiences and wisdom. And yes, David, even fellowship.
Use that word again. Oh.
And this is where you can have free resources, meditations, documents, and actually AI tools AI tools and software that David built himself for building your business and your website. And what else? Yeah.
Amazing.
It is. It really is.
So my question to you, David, is can people get hold of you?
Can people get hold of you?
At present.
Good one, Laura.
At present, I'm in the Caribbean, so I'll be a little delayed. I am hoping to be back in North America at some point in time, very soon, depending on how stuff goes. I came down here to do a number of things, renew documents, that kind of thing, and nothing goes very fast down here because, people thinking about the next beach party because... Yeah. So there is that. The rum place where the rum punch flows freely. Yes, lime in. Correct. They just lime in. They lime in even at work, Lillian. Yeah. Right. Anyway, but if you guys want to get a hold of me, it's info@unifiedhealthsystems.com, or you can find me at info@universalcitizentv.com as well. I'm running a detox course for those of you who need to detox your household. For those of you who don't know what that's about, it's because, there's toxins everywhere that will kill you or get you sick.
Your body detox your body too.
So this course is going to be talking about detoxifying your household and detoxifying your body from parasites, all sorts of things, and the chemicals that are in your house that will probably getting you sick. So we're going to teach you how to deal with them and live a longer and happier life. But that's basically my spiel. I pass it over back to you, Laura.
Thank you. And can't people also join your network, your new integrated health network? Have I got the name right?
Yes.
Integrative.
Yes. So we're building an integrative health network because I'm doing two things, and there's no spirituality without health. Trust me. So what we're going to be doing, what we're going to be doing is I'm building a social media platform, kind of like Universal Citizen Media, where people can come and actually get contact with professionals and not have to spend a load of money because you know how I am. I'm disruptive. I will find ways to make things cheaper for everybody. So I am creating applications that are along the health spectrum. And we're going to be releasing them in the new year. So as an example, I have I have platforms that will generate meditations and stuff like that for y'all, so that y'all don't have to stress about trying to find somebody to do this for y'all and whatever else. And we have professionals. We have a psychologist. We have an oncology nurse who is in the platform to answer questions so that you don't have to pay for somebody to just answer one simple question, such as how to eat or something like that. We have all of these things. We're taking our personalities. I'm taking the personalities of these professionals, all their knowledge and skill sets, and I'm digitalizing them. You understand? I'm digitalizing them so people can ask questions and actually get the correct answer 100% of the time. I'm creating second opinion apps for those of you who receive diagnosis so that you guys can actually get a second opinion without having to pay for it. You know what I mean?
Wow. What a service.
That's what I'm up to.
What a service.
Is that
amazing? Is
IHN up and going yet?
Yes, well, you guys can actually join the platform at integrativehealthnetwork.net. You guys can join that platform, and we will have real professionals who still have a heart and are not exploitative inside there. That's basically what I'm doing. right? Inside there too, like you could ask your questions and stuff like that.
It's fabulous.
That's what's
people who are, healers out there and wanting this spiritual connection and this cooperation rather than competition, then that is a great resource and a great place to go. And I know we've talked, David, a lot about the let's say the difficult times that are coming up. But if always, as you said, if we still make our voices heard one way or another and join together like this community of Talking Stick and the other communities that Andrew and David have formed or that we're forming, and you get together and you share, then we can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So thank you, guys. I'm Laura Massey from Two Feathers Medicine. If you are stuck on your spiritual journey anywhere, then I'm a qualified counsellor and hypnotherapist too, thanks to one of David's courses. So come and have a chat with me, have a session with me. I would also like to say that beginning of December, we are opening the Pain Management Clinic where I live in Amring in West Sussex in UK. I think, Lillian, you're coming the end of November, hopefully.
That's right.
Yeah, just one of the early birds trying out the system here. So we're really looking forward to getting people on board and trying out the pulsed electromagnetic field therapy that we're doing, Lucia light hypnotherapy, craniosacral therapy, doing this with Dale Tobin, who most of you know from Symmetry of Health and from the Talking Stick, and a couple of other guys on board as well, Richard Winter and Bob Anderson. So we're really excited that this is happening too. So please like and subscribe when this comes out. And thank you, everybody who came in the chat and all our hosts today. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
I keep on laughing.